the best of money matters. Under the radar.
You're listening to Money FM 89.3, and it's now time for a special on-the-go episode of Under the Radar with me, Chua Tian Tian, where we bring you on-the-ground reports of key business events, launches, features, or developers' days. Now, this time I headed to Chinatown for a sneak peek into the rejuvenation of Singapore's Smith Street, where the former Chinatown Food Street was located. Now, since closing its shutters in 2021, efforts have been made to revitalize the area surrounding the food street. In November 2023, the Singapore Land Authority, the Singapore Tourism Board, and the Urban Redevelopment Authority jointly launched a collective tender to appoint a master tenant to refresh a row of state-owned shophouses from 11 to 37 Smith Street, as well as the pedestrian mall on state land where the former food street was located. And I'm excited to find out all about the rejuvenation efforts from Carrie Wong, Director of Business Planning at the Singapore Land Authority. All right, Carrie, we are in the middle of Smith Street right now. So where is the project site exactly?
Yeah, the very colourful shophouses along Smith Street, as well as the open space outside the shophouses itself, underneath the canopy. This is actually the boundary of Smith Street shophouses we are talking about 17 units, contiguous. It also gives a scale, right, for impactful placemaking efforts.
But if we could take a step back, why is the Singapore Land Authority involved in the revitalization of public spaces like Chinatown? Many would think of the STB, the Singapore Tourism Board, or the Urban Redevelopment Authority, the URA, when it comes down to the rejuvenation of public spaces, particularly Chinatown. So why is the Singapore Land Authority or SLA involved in the rejuvenation efforts? What is its mandate then?
SLA, we are the custodian of state land and properties. We are looking after, those return properties, and we are trying to ensure, we can actually unlock the value of all these state land and buildings when they are not needed for immediate development yet. So this is what we call interim use, of all these state land and buildings. Hence, when this stretch of shophouses on Smith Street will return to SLA, we were thinking this is a very good opportunity to actually refresh and rejuvenate this entire area. So we actually work with very closely with, like you mentioned, the agencies like STB and URA to tap on their expertise as well on some of this objective vision and goals for this area. Then what are the things needed to bring back the footfall as well as draw some of this objective on attracting tourists. So this is how this whole thing about putting up interim use for all these Smith Street shophouses come about. And at the same time, because SLA, we also manage very diverse asset classes, right? Like the heritage houses, shophouses like this, former army camp, old school buildings. So these are the things that we do, and that is why we are also launching price and quality tender together with inputs from the public agencies and the private sector feedback as well.
The Chinatown Food Street, as we know, it was closed in October 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. How badly was Smith Street hit during this period of time, and why does the site need to be rejuvenated right now to increase footfall and also to retain traffic?
The property was returned, the shophouses were returned back in post-COVID when the tenancy expired. That was Chinatown Food Street, if you remember. So back then, there was also a good opportunity to really think of how we can actually curate something, right, rejuvenate and make it more relevant, right, to the evolving market needs as well as lifestyle trends of people, right? So in this entire conceptualization of rejuvenation of shophouses, we were looking at introducing users that provide diverse offerings, not just about F&B or retail, but really then bring back some of this local Chinese culture. At the same time, we also encourage what we call dwell time, where then there is an ecosystem to support these amenities on ground, like co-living, co-working spaces. This is something that can support the entire ecosystem. So hence we, in the tender itself, we actually have introduced more users, encourage all these bidders, to think of something very unique and creative users, right? And also at the same time make it more commercially viable for them.
While Smith Street was in need of a facelift, doing so comes with a set of challenges. For one thing, some of the shophouses included in the proposed site were rented out when officials were mulling the tender launch. That meant it was difficult for authorities, including the SLA, to offer a single contiguous stretch of shophouses for rejuvenation.
One of the goals that we're trying to have it is enliven back this area, and there's a need for a scale, to scale up placemaking so that the master tenant can curate all this concept better. So what we were trying to do back then was we actually tried to bundle up this entire stretch of shophouses into a contiguous stretch, right? So as when we engage on the ground, some of these tenants who are actually occupying in between these shophouses, we offer them another stretch, another spot of Chinatown shophouses at the skirt, at the fringe there, when the tenancy has expired. So in a way, we can then amalgamate some of them together. So right now, what we have done is that we actually push out this 17 units, contiguously, so that we can have this congruous design as well as programming, all done by a single master curator.
Careful planning was seen in the design of the tender to ensure that the master tenant would be aligned with the authorities in prioritizing Chinatown's cultural and architectural heritage while introducing more diverse offerings in its revitalization plans. Carrie, let's talk about the objectives of the rejuvenation project. I understand there are 4 key objectives, namely first one being placemaking, second being culinary diversity, third being creative lifestyle, and the last being sustainability. Yes, so take us through the objectives and the rationale behind setting these 4 items as your key objectives for the project.
Yeah, so you have rightly put, these are actually the 4 key objectives we were looking at when we rejuvenate Chinatown Smith Street itself. Very importantly, our goal is also to bring back, meaningful users, preserve local Chinese culture, at the same time to make this more impactful kind of proposal that rejuvenate on the ground and bring footfall. So in terms of placemaking, we were looking at, encouraging the master tenant operator to look at, regular programming to actually promote community engagement. So from regularly there will be events ongoing, events that is also culturally meaningful, bringing back some of all these history, roots of the history Singapore. And at the same time, we are also encourage them to work with the different community, to have all those different, even the social kind of events as well.
I see. And how will such an integrated plan then ensure increased traffic to the project and also increase the dwell time at the area?
Yeah. So it is important to have a diverse mix of offerings, right? Ranging from the F&B culinary mix, as well as a lifestyle, creative lifestyle kind of retail mix as well on the ground, so that there is actually in a way promote and also encourage different kind of experience, right, among the local as well as the visitor. When they come over, they have something to see, and very importantly, all these users as well as the placemaking effort has to be remain relevant, right? That is meets the changing market needs as well as the lifestyle trend of people. Right. So, for example, some of these tenant mix that Chinatown Business Association brought in, very much there are, for example, gelato, that brings back some of these, highlight some of the local culture, right? Yeah. Local flavors like pipagao flavors, kaya flavors, right? Then at the same time, we have Killarney coffee, which then, is one of the oldest Singapore Hainanese coffee brand, right? And then they are famous for their the kaya, coffee, mirabus, So really very much very diverse and varieties that create the kind of experience for the community as well.
Yeah, and I understand intentionally in the plan you're also looking out for things like co-working spaces in order to increase the dwell time.
Yes.
Could you share with us a bit more on that?
Yeah. So it is important, that placemaking is also to ensure that, the dwell time, like people not just about come to a place and then they just leave, but rather there would be enough time spent within this Smith Street itself to immerse themselves in the local Chinese culture. So we actually introduce more users, right, to in a way to actually have this integrated kind of ecosystem, right? So that's why in our tender we also encourage co-living, co-working, so that those who actually stay here in the co-living spaces,
the top levels of shop
can
house.
also support some of these amenities on the ground.
The Chinatown Business Association gave a teaser on what to expect in a media article out in the Straits Times in February. With shops along the rejuvenated Smith Street progressively opening, Carrie and I dived into what visitors to Chinatown can expect in the coming weeks and months in part 2 of our conversation that will be played out tomorrow. That was Carrie Wong, Director of Business Planning at the Singapore Land Authority. And this is an on-the-go special episode of Under the Radar with me, Chua Tian Tian.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.